how do you launch your product? How do you get that product out? How do you do that marketing, especially in combination with the minimal viable product that we discussed last week? Hey and welcome. It's day 13 of our 90-day game plan. Last week, we announced the so-called customized bundles where anyone can go and put all kinds of coins and tokens together and launch these to the public. And today, I want to discuss what I promised you last week, where I want to give you a bit of a marketing strategy. I want to give you some kind of concepts that, well, we are doing, but hopefully you can also learn for yourself. So let's kind of dig a bit through and kind of work this out. And I think step number one in this entire plan here is to understand that as part of that skateboard marketing strategy, right? I hope you remember the MVP kind of skateboard, scooter, bicycle, motorcycle, car. In the skateboard strategy, you have to do things that are not scalable. This is so important in marketing, right? This is a lesson that Airbnb has always been teaching, where at the beginning, everything was done manual. They did the photos, they actually went to the homes. But by doing so, you're doing a couple of things. You're building a close relationship with your very early adopters. You get to learn, especially when it comes to the scooter then, what to improve, what to iterate, right? So do those non-scalable things very, very early. For example, one thing that we are doing is we have received dozens of amazing applications for the bundles last week and right now. And if you haven't done so already, then please submit your bundle and see how that goes from here. At the moment, there's no conditions on it. We just look through that everything is legal and so on. But then later down, it will really be about you having to have a minimum allocation in your own bundle. You having to have certain requirements. This is simply because at the moment, right, you want to have this easy early start. You want to learn from these things. You want to learn from the mistakes. You want to learn what works. And you build from there. You double down on those things that work and you stop doing those things that don't work. So what we are doing is, on all these bundle submissions, it's dozens. So that's really, really fantastic. We're actually going to run them through our team. We're going to look at how can we improve maybe the graphics, how can we improve the the description, how can we improve the title. We want to give you some really catchy kind of social media messages. These are things that are not scalable. Further down the line, you will have to do this yourself. But at the moment, we want to give this to you because we want to empower you, obviously, so that you have an easy time and a very good time in being successful with these bundles. So this is something that's so important. Do the non-scalable things at the beginning because here you can still do it. I think that's rule and lesson number one in all of this. Number two, you need to start your marketing as early as possible in anything that you do. And when I wrote my very first book, that was in 2015, 2015, 25 stories I would tell my younger self. With that book, I actually had a book coach, and that book coach told me, like, Julian, you're writing your book right now, but here's the marketing tip. You need to start selling that book with the first page that you write. And this was such an aha moment because at that point I was wondering, well, I don't know exactly how to sell that book. How am I going to sell that? I don't know. Who am I going to sell this to? And my book coach said, if you don't know who to sell the book to right now, you're not going to be able to sell that book ever. And this is such an important lesson in marketing in general, that most people, they wait until everything is done and then fingers crossed they hope they can sell or market their product, only to realize that no one actually wants it. It's not being picked up. And so the key thing really is that you want to do your marketing as early as possible and somehow build this early adopter group, right? Depending on what you're building. Like, for example, with me with the book, I had an email list, I had a blog, and where I kind of discussed a bit on the book writing process, but obviously also talked a bit about the stories. And the same right now, where we are having obviously already an early adopter group from before, right? And then while we're launching these bundles, obviously, I'm doing the videos. I'm going to prepare you. I'm going to discuss those things. If you're interested, go ahead over to the type form, filling these things out. So while we're in the process, we are already building all these things up. And you want to do this as early as possible. So I don't know in what stage you're at when you're actually building your product or you're building your company, but you want to do the marketing as early and as fast as possible. And I think this is really, really crucial. Obviously, you may have like a beta group or you have an early launch group and you really want to kind of figure these things out very, very early, right? And then lesson number three in those launches is be careful if you're investing a lot of money and a lot of capital for advertising or for marketing without really knowing the details further down the line. And I see this a lot where people have these early kind of launch versions and then they invest a lot of money in these one-off campaigns, either for PR stunts or like these one-off things where these are not really trackable, they're not really scalable. So these are just things that, and I can tell you, it's really, really, really important that on a very early stage, you do things that are scalable and trackable. The best marketing you can do at this stage is, for example, affiliate marketing, are things where you pay afterwards. So not upfront, but afterwards. Now, I get it, this may be difficult for the very simple reason because you may not have that trust yet, or you don't know all the things, the ins and out yet. But this is so, so, so crucial. In a second step, maybe you don't go and you do these large campaigns in one go, but maybe you do some Facebook ads, you do some Google ads, you do scalable things where you start with $10 a day, $20 a day, $50 a day. You scale from that. This is so crucial when it comes to that kind of marketing process. Then, step number 4, it is a repeating process, right? It's like a cadence. You need to keep going, keep going, keep going. It's not like a one-off. People are not gonna buy whatever you sell them. It's the same with the bundles, right? You're gonna hear about these bundles for days and weeks. And this is really, really crucial. You need to learn this as well. Why? Because it's gonna take a while. People really need some time to pick these things up, to start using them. And that is something that's very, very, very important when you do this. It needs repeated cadence, and you're going to have to learn this. And obviously, the earlier you do the marketing, the easier this is going to be down the line. And last but not least, have some idea what the scooter looks like. Have an idea for the product. Have an idea how are you going to up the ante on the marketing, right? When you get to that next level, you need to up the ante. It has to be feelable. Maybe at that point, that's when you do a marketing campaign, a one-off, or you're going to really go all out on the ads, for example, or you run a promotion on the marketing. On the product as well, you need to have some very clear ideas. How's the marketing going to get better? How's the user experience going to be? How's the functionality going to be? But here's the trick. When you talk to your early customers, you reflect and you ask yourself, does it really make sense to go down this line, or do you actually need to do something else, right? This is the crucial question that you need to kind of ask yourself when you go and you kind of look at the scooter, right? That next level. And this is so important in this entire marketing strategy. The points that I see a lot, let's talk about mistakes. Either people wait until the very end, and then many times actually until the final car, until they start the marketing, only to realize that they don't know who to talk to, how to talk to, and they don't do it early enough. This is such a massive mistake. The second big mistake I see a lot is when people just kind of blind go all out, have these one-shot campaigns, fingers crossed, really hope that it works. And this is also obviously a bit of a problem. And the last one is that people believe that either they annoy people with these kind of things and they kind of tone it down too much, or they just do these one shots, not understanding that your right target audience, they actually want to be taken by the hand. They want to hear a lot from you about this because they're really excited about their product, about that service, and so on. And you can just think about something that you recently bought or recently acquired that you're really a huge fan of. Many times you're absolutely okay that for days or even weeks, you see these campaigns or you see what this is all about. And so this is really important at that point, that you also differentiate exactly on who is actually your target audience and who is not. And look, you're going to see all those 5 points and hopefully not those 3 mistakes in the marketing that we're doing for these customized bundles. Because at the end, we believe these customizable bundles will allow anyone to build their own little portfolios, kind of market those to people around them, and take a really nice commission from that. And then from there, we're going to look into how can we improve this, look at the scooter, and we're going to discuss this in future videos. So what are reflections on there? How are we going to improve? What are we adding on top? And these are really crucial things in any of the product launches. So let me know a couple of questions if you have any. I'll answer them in future videos. We're probably also going to do maybe a video a week where I'm going to be answering questions that we are compiling from all the other videos. And just we're going to go through and answer a lot of these questions. Could be kind of a bit of a random thing as well. So let me know in the comments below. I'll definitely dig into those. And otherwise, if you haven't done so already and you're interested in creating bundles, check out the link down below. The bundles are going to launch later in the week, and then it's ready about talking about them and really kind of growing those. So that's going to be quite exciting. So with this, if you don't want to miss any videos, click the subscribe button, click the like button, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thanks so much, everyone. Yours truly, Julian. Bye-bye.